Some words about the Benedictines, the oldest monastic order in the Western Church. The founder of the order was Saint Benedict, an Italian monk from Nursia, who organized communities of monks governed by an abbot, and their routine was dedicated to prayer and work. And their lives were characterized by moderation in all things. Saint Benedict was the author of the rule of Saint Benedict, which did not require the same level of asceticism and austerity inherent in the way of life of early Christian desert monks, but this rule became a model for most of Western monasteries, and the primary search was, of course, the primary goal was, of course, the search for God. And the rule was written and thereby firstly introduced in the Abbey of Monte Cassino, which was also established by Saint Benedict in the first half of the 6th century. But in the second half of the 6th century, monks had to flee from this monastery to Rome due to invasions, and they took the rule with them. And gradually, approximately by the year of 800, the rule was spread throughout Western Europe. And of course, as I said before, medieval monasteries, most of which were Benedictine, and also monastic schools, scriptoriums and libraries were vital for preservation and transfer of knowledge, for encouraging arts, for education, for scholar work, for studying classical texts, and etc. And Benedictines served as teachers, educators, writers and poets, historians, scholars, scientists, artists and artisans, as architects, illuminators, of course, as scribes, and also as physicians and etc. But in addition, Benedictine monks often served as political advisors, financial officers, even as leaders of military campaigns, and sometimes even as regents of kingdoms. So also monasteries introduced advanced farming methods. And as you can see from the previous posts, monasteries were monasteries were among key actors of the medieval politics and economy. Abbots, for example, exercised political influence in royal councils and in some other institutions. And also, as you can see in the post about Columbian monasticism, monasteries served sometimes as politically stabilizing influences, so in disputed territories. And while laymen, feudal lords often appointed loyal abbots, although this such external influence contradicted the rule, specifically the chapter 64. And the revenues of monasteries derived from manorial estates, from incidents of feudal tenure, and also from performing religious practices, from donations, and etc. But between 1200 and 1500, the influence of the order declined significantly, as there was a crisis of spiritual ideas of the monastic life, although there were some reforms and attempts to reform monasteries, for example, the Cluniac reforms and etc. But the crisis of spiritual ideas was, and it led to its consequences. But among other factors of the decline were, of course, the reduced revenues amidst high expenses and rising inflation. Also, poor leadership of a lot of abbots, who led to this crisis of spiritual ideas and to financial problems as well. Also, the competition on the book market, the introduction of the printing press, and the rise of universities, the formation and development of other monastic orders and movements, for example, the rise of friars, and the formation of a class of professional bureaucrats. And the number of recruits significantly fell in Benedictine monasteries. Check the sources listed in the comments and on the website.